Hello guys, welcome to Afriverse Historic. On today's episode, we look into the life of Isaac Adaka Boro, the man who left an indelible mark in Nigerian history. So stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Isaac Adaka Boro was a University of Nigeria Nsukka student. He was also the SG president of the said university. He failed the election twice before he eventually won. Adaka Boro was on free education scholarship from the Eastern Region government. He hailed from Oloidiri, Bayelsa. He was the first person to declare secession in 1966 at the age of 27. Adaka Boro's rebellion was allegedly sponsored by the Tafawa Balewa government. Tafawa Balewa government believed that the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, NCNC, and the Action Congress, AG, were sponsoring the thief unrests, and the United Middle Belt Congress, UMBC, led by Joseph Taka. To deal with the NCNC, it was alleged that Adaka Boro was sponsored to cause insurrection with his boys. Adaka Boro used his father's backyard as a training ground to arm his boys. After 1966 January coup, which was made up of predominantly Igbo officers, it led to the death of prominent Western and Northern leaders. As General Iransi took over, he heard of the unrests caused by Adaka Boro seeking a sovereign nation. Then, he ordered the arrest and incarceration of Adaka Boro for 2 weeks. Adaka Boro declared Ijaw Republic on February 1966, a couple of months after the coup. He was so radical and courageous that as a student, he dragged the federal government to court seeking the nullification of the 1963 general election. When he proclaimed the Niger Delta Republic in 1976, Boro argued that the region where the nation's wealth comes from had suffered years of neglect and underdevelopment. But there were some who believed this was not the main reason for declaring the Niger Delta Republic. South African anti-apartheid activist and scholar Roots First, as quoted by Catherine Nwajiako, states that Boro and his men were in league with senior Northern officers and had wanted to use the threat of revolution to trigger the imposition of a state of emergency by the Northern-led federal government prior to the first coup. David, his younger brother, during an interview with The Punch, said that his brother received support from the North before the declaration of the Niger Delta Republic. Isaac Boro did not just start the 12th-day revolution and decided to declare Niger Delta Republic. There was some degree of encouragement from the North. Boro himself admitted to having close ties with the Balewa government. There were those who posed questions as to how Boro, a 27-year-old undergraduate student, had the funds to secure weapons and mass out a militia. David continued, "Our father advised him against it and told him to face his studies because he was a student." Adaka Boro did not just declare Niger Delta Republic. He was fighting the federal government under the leadership of Abi Iransi through the Niger Delta Volunteer Force. Boro was said to have a strong admiration for Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. He condemned the coup that led to his assassination and said Major General Abi Iransi's emergence as the head of state convinced him that revolution was the only way out for the Ijaw people and advocated a rejection of the new regime. He questioned the legitimacy of such a violent change and needless show of disrespect to the Nigerian Constitution describing it as a direct affront to the covenant of federalism agreed on by the founding fathers of the country. If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe to the channel to get more content like this about African history. Now let's get back to the video. The clash between the Niger Delta Volunteer Force and the Nigerian Armed Forces is widely known as the 12-Day Revolution. It led to the deaths of over 150 people. The armed militia, led by Boro, was overpowered by the Nigerian Armed Forces, while Boro and Samuel Owonaro, who was the chief of staff of the Niger Delta Volunteer Force, and other leaders of the militia group were arrested and charged for treason. When they appeared before Justice Phil Ebosi of the Port Harcourt High Court, they were sentenced to death, but the sentence was later commuted to life in jail. A year later, following the 1966 Igbo pogrom in Kano that killed over 50,000 Igbo, and after the series of counter-coup which killed the first military head of state, Agui Ironsi, and also after the Aburi Accord was disobeyed by Gowon, Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu declared Biafra as he was being forced by Eastern Region Consultative Committee. At this time, it was said that the Ijaw elders supported Biafra. The name Biafra was allegedly given by an Ijaw man from Adaka Boro's tribe and state, Opiogo. On the eve of the Biafran-Nigerian War in May 1967, then head of state, Yakubu Gowon, granted him amnesty and drafted him into the Nigerian army. He was afterwards commissioned as a major in the Nigerian army. He recruited 1,000 Rivers men into the army to fight Biafrans. The Nigerian military, led by Adaka Boro, allegedly killed all of their chiefs and elders who were pro-Biafrans and installed young persons like J.T. Spiff as the governor. Many of the Ijaw elders ran away to exile and never returned because of Adaka Boro. He fought alongside Colonel Benjamin Adekunle, who was the head of the 3rd Marine Commando Division of the Nigerian Army. With deep knowledge of the Niger Delta creeks, Boro and his men fought alongside the Nigerian troops to push back the Biafran soldiers of the region. In Obasanjo's book, My Command, Obasanjo described Boro and his 1,000 soldiers as indisciplined, hurriedly, and poorly trained Rivers men. However, Major Isaac Adaka Boro and his men recorded a lot of victories during the war. Their knowledge of the creeks of the Niger Delta, their understanding of the local languages, and their ability to live off the land, and their swift movement accounted for their success in the areas around Opobo, Obodo, Opolom, Andoni, Oranga, and Buguma. There are conflicting reports as to how Isaac Adaka Boro died. There is a version that says that the Igbos who felt he betrayed them by joining the Nigerian state to fight against Biafra assassinated him. This account was corroborated in Obasanjo's book, My Command, where he stated, "It was here in Okrika that Major Isaac Adaka Boro was killed, apparently by a fleeing rebel soldier whom he encountered during a private visit." His death led almost immediately to the dissolution of the 19th Brigade, which became uncontrollable without him. However, at the time, most of the authorities of Biafra, such as Port Harcourt, Uyo, Calabar, Boni, and many other oil-rich areas, had been captured and was firmly in the hands of the Nigerian army. Another account states that Isaac Adaka Boro was betrayed by the Nigerian armed forces. On May 16, 1968, after a successful gun battle against Biafran forces at Ogu, near Okrika in Rivers State, Boro was ambushed by what many of his men then believed was a unit sent by Colonel Adekunle. In a brief and fierce battle, Adekunle's men allegedly gunned him down. His death went down in history as mysterious, as there was no conclusive evidence on who assassinated Boro. He died at the age of 29. Strong allegations pointed to Colonel Adekunle, who was allegedly envious of Boro's rising prominence in the Nigerian army, ordered the assassination of Boro in order to seize the glories that Boro enabled the 3rd Marine Commando Division to achieve. Subsequent to Boro's death, Adekunle took all the credits of the achievements of the division. A regimental sergeant major under Boro was quoted saying, "Boro did not die in the heat of battle with the Biafran forces." He said, "The area had already been captured and secured by their troops, and Major Boro was on inspection tour when they came under fire. The type of gunfire that erupted during the gun battle that killed Boro was completely different from what the Biafrans were known to use in that area of the war." This confirmed to them that it was one of the federal troops units that carried out the ambush. As soon as Boro died, his 1,000 band of soldiers was disbanded. According to Olusegun Obasanjo in his book My Command, Adekunle's post-war political ambition pushed him into assassinating Boro. Obasanjo stated that Colonel Adekunle at this point saw the war not just in terms of crushing the rebellion, but also as a means to build himself up for a future political position or responsibility which he might wish to seek. I know of people of the Western state origin who had felt politically victimized and who saw Colonel Adekunle as a savior and told him so, and he believed them. What Boro fought and died for is what has eluded his people for years. Niger Delta has remained impoverished despite the huge revenue it continues to generate for the country. His revolt signified the first armed rebellion against the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has been widely cited as an inspiration for both violent and non-violent Niger Delta activists, such as Ken Saro-Wiwa and a host of others. Every year in Bayelsa State, May 16th is set aside to celebrate his impact on Ijoland and to remember how he fought for the Niger Delta region. Isaac Adaka Boro had a park in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, named after him. What are your thoughts about the life of Isaac Adaka Boro and all that surrounds the controversy of the Civil War and his death? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification button to get more content like this. It's Vietnam from Afriverse Historic. See you in the next one.